In the construction business, or any business for that matter, it never hurts to know you're on the right track. And it means even more when that validation comes from a third party, an independent group of industry experts who knows what they're talking about. This is Ed Murrow, the CEO of Independent Project Analysis Incorporated. His group was hired by the Industry Benchmark Consortium, a group of 52 different companies, all large industrial owners pooling their money to do research on capital projects on many levels, including performance. The IBC puts up the money, as does Murrow's organization, to look at hundreds of projects in the United States and around the world to see what works and what doesn't. In a typical year, Independent Project Analysis will look at between 700 and 900 projects, a large number that allows for plenty of apples-to-apples comparisons on work that is being done.
One of the things that we discovered in the course of this study is that in the United States, union labor was distinctly more productive than non-union labor. Some people, particularly those who have an ideological bias around the subject, were shocked at the result. Some people who actually understand it a little better were not shocked at all. Okay, so they said it couldn't be otherwise. It didn't surprise me for the simple reason that as I looked at the results of the study, one of the things that was perfectly obvious is there's a very clear relationship between labor productivity and wage.
As you may expect, this was not good news to those who prefer to keep union contractors and union labor boxed in a decades-old reputation.
I need to tell you a story about this because it's kind of funny. I was delivering the results of the labor productivity study to one of our major U.S. contractors. And I actually had their executive committee and their president and chairman were there. And when I presented the result around the union labor, it got an argument going, okay? And oh no, that can't possibly be right. I mean, blah, blah, blah. Finally, the chairman stopped the argument. He said, for heaven's sake, boys, he says, they're better trained. He said, because they're better trained, they're going to be more productive. Is that clear? That was the end of the discussion.
Okay, a union-trained workforce is more productive, but the study didn't stop there.
I think it's important for me to point out that union labor in the United States, on average, considerably more productive. But there are other things that are at least as important to good labor productivity, okay, as the skill level. So for example, the quality of the construction management, the quality of the planning that's done around the construction. One of the things that we find, for example, is the way that you involve your labor in the planning of the various construction tasks. We have projects done in the Midwest that are cheaper than the equivalent project done on the U.S. Gulf Coast, despite the fact that they're done with considerably more expensive labor. And that's because everybody understands that the effective labor cost is hours times wage, not just wage. And the hours are what kill you. If I have skilled labor and I involve that labor in the development of the planning for the work, and I've done my development of the project correctly, I can get incredibly good results.
The union versus non-union debate has been going on for years, but never has either side been able to point to factual evidence gathered and presented by an independent group, which proves one side is better than the other. Until now. Like we said, it never hurts to know you're on the right track, that you're doing things the right way, that you're the best.